All right. Feels like a good time to give you like phase two of my story, I guess. I gotta be brief, so I gotta do it in stages. I'm at this gazebo in some park somewhere. It's nice and quiet, where you can get in your own thoughts. But anyway, so where I left off, I entered the prison system at 16. Prison in the 80s all around the country was, fucking gladiator school, all right? So the first thing you get handed when you walk into prison, by most cons, is a knife. And I want to make a quick distinction between a convict and an inmate. An inmate goes along with the program, kind of does whatever it does to stand up, where a con will stand on principle, even to his own detriment. So you fuck with a con, he's going to respond. I considered myself a con. I was aspiring to be a hardened con. That was my goal in life, believe it or not. Eventually, I ended up committing crimes in prison. I was charged with assault and COs. I was charged with stabbing a guy. But my first test came when all I did was use the guy's milk out of the refrigerator to put in my coffee when I worked in the print shop. He was a big bully, big black scarred up dude. I told his story in another video. That was my first test. And the reason I tell this, well, I'll show you the reason. He, used my milk, used my fucking milk. He was pressing me to see how I would respond. I responded by splitting his head open with the handle off a print machine, which in those days, that ain't the biggest, no big deal. Guys were getting much more damage done. But I did respond, and everyone's watching, you have to. The guy shoved me. So anyway, I'm telling you this in a nutshell. But the thing is, the reason why it's so memorable, two reasons. One, when I went to the hole, this notorious mob guy, I'll just say Rudy, everybody around here knows who he was. He was a notorious guy of some rank, and he came to the hole and told me, you did the right thing, kid. This guy was right out of the movie. See, they could cast him in a movie. He was that guy. He's passed away now. But that was probably my first introduction to organized crime, guys. Not that I'm anybody, I want to state that now, but I did rub shoulders with a lot of mob guys down here, the boss on down. It's so small here, it's like a common thing. But you have to show some type of capability, or you have to have certain traits in order for them. But when you're a young kid like me without a father, they will take that and shape you into, how they want you to think. And it works, because I became a very loyal soldier to this man and a couple other people along the way. And so that assault led to that introduction. Well, I mean, I knew who he was, but he came to the hole to let me know it's going to be all right. There's not going to be any repercussions, blah, blah, blah. And so that's how I met that gentleman. And when I did it, too, when the goon squad brought me out full of blood and that bloody guy out with his head all split open, a lot of the old timers, a lot of cons were in the yard and watching it, and they erupted in a cheer. Go get him, kid, good job, and all that fucking shit, right? So I was a little kid in the prison. Everybody knew about this and wanted to see how I was going to handle myself. So I responded to that incident, and that was my introduction to committing crime in prison and why it's needed. And I went on to go get a little carried away with everything, but I wanted to just fill you in on this stage, and I'll just keep doing the stages. All right, I'm out.